everybody. Happy Wednesday. This is Miss K. I hope you're all having a good first week of distance learning and you're getting used to using all your technology at home. So I'm here today to give you a little bit of information about how OWL lessons are going to work while we're all doing our schoolwork from home. So one thing I want to make clear before I get started is that all of the activities that I'm going to put out are optional. While I would love for everybody to do every activity I can think of, I know you have a lot of other schoolwork to do, your family may be busy, or you may just not be all that interested, and that's okay. So if you want to do these activities, that would be great, but if you don't have time or you don't feel like it, that's okay too. No one's going to get graded for these activities, but if you do complete one and you want to share it with me, I'd love to see it. So each week on Monday, you are going to get a bingo choice board that will have all kinds of activities you can do to practice some of the skills that we've talked about during our OWL lessons. So there's 4 types of activities. There are activities to work on managing emotions, there are activities to practice mindfulness, to practice kindness, and to do some adventuring or do something a little outside of the box. So the goal is to do 4 a week and get a bingo, but you can do as many or as few as you'd like. Each week on Wednesday, I'm going to post a mini lesson about a different topic. So it might be a video of me, like you're seeing today. It might be a video of someone else, or it might be a game or activity or something else that sounds fun. Like I said, these will get posted on Wednesday, and there will be some optional activities that go with it. If you want to do one of the activities, great. If you want to do none, that's great too. So for our first OWL lesson at home, we're going to be talking a little bit more about emotion management and especially handling the emotion of anger, which is one of our red zone feelings. So I know that for me, the fun of staying home all the time is kind of starting to wear off, and I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed and frustrated and angry. So I'm spending some more time in the red zone. And I thought that might be true for some of you too. So you are going to listen to a story called On's Anger. So just like many of us, On feels angry when things don't go his way. But he has an unexpected experience that helps him think about his anger a little bit differently. So get cozy, sit tight, and listen up. On's Anger by Gail Silver and Christine Cromer. On was in the living room building a tower, the tallest tower he'd ever built. His grandfather was in the kitchen making dinner. On, grandfather called. Dinner is ready. On added a yellow block and smiled. The tower was almost as tall as he was. Now the red one, On whispered, placing a red block on the very top. Grandfather came in from the kitchen. What a wonderful tower! It's not done yet, On told him. Come sit down, grandfather said. You can play more after we eat. He set the plates on the table and returned to On, who was balancing a green block on top of the red one. Put your blocks down now, said grandfather. Dinner is getting cold. On wanted to keep playing. He opened his mouth to speak, but his bottom lip quivered and the words wouldn't come. On's eyes filled with tears and he started to cry. Grandfather tried to put his arm around On, but On pushed him away, knocking the tower over and sending the blocks flying. Go away! I hate you! On shouted. You're upset, said grandfather. Please go to your room and sit with your anger. I'll come in when you're calm and able to talk. On ran to his room and leapt onto his bed. His cries grew so strong he could feel them all the way down to his belly. How do I sit with my anger? He wondered. I am so angry, angry, angry! Finally, said a voice. I was hoping you would notice me. On lifted his head and came face to face with a hairy, red creature. Who are you? Asked On. And how did you get into my room? I'm your anger, said the creature. "You brought me here." "My anger?" The anger nodded. "Did Grandfather see you come in? I'm not supposed to talk to strangers." "Don't worry, An. I'm not a stranger. I'm the part of you that comes out when things don't go your way. I'm right here every time you get angry. I know you feel scared when I'm around. I can make you cry or want to hit things. I can even make you say mean things to people you love." An's anger started to turn the knob of the bedroom door. "Come on," he said. "I'll show you." An was tempted, but Grandfather had said to stay in his room. "Wait," An called. "Maybe we can do something in here." An's anger turned and extended his hairy hand. "I know just the thing," he said. An took his anger's hand, and together they danced all around the room. They raised their arms overhead and spun wide circles. They used their breath to make sounds like a strong howling wind. They got down on their knees and pounded the ground with their hands. It sounded like they were playing drums on the earth, and An liked that. Finally, they were exhausted and ready to be still. An and his anger sat together silently. They sat. They breathed in. They breathed out. And they sat some more. "I don't like to say mean things to people," said An, "but sometimes I can't help it." "I can help you," said his anger. "How can you help? I thought you were the one who was making me do those things in the first place." "That's true, but I'm also your friend. Whenever you feel angry, you should come sit with me. After we spend some time together, you might feel better." "Spending time with you is kind of fun," An said. "Do you want to stay for dinner?" "I think I'll be gone before dinner," said his anger. "Are you sure?" said An. "We're having ice cream for dessert." An's anger smiled, and An smiled back. An was tired. He took a deep breath and let out a little sigh. And when he did, his anger became smaller. An and his anger continued to breathe together. With each in-breath, An's anger got a little bit smaller, and with each out-breath, An felt a little better. An heard a gentle tapping on his bedroom door. It was Grandfather. Grandfather and An sat together. "I'm sorry I didn't listen," said An. "I was really angry. I wanted to keep playing." Grandfather took An in his arms. "Thank you for your kind words," he said. "I sat with my anger like you asked," An said. "But we didn't just sit. We danced and played, too. Do you want to meet him?" An looked up, but his anger was gone. "Grandfather," said An, "do you know what happened?" "I think I do," said Grandfather. "You took good care of your anger, and it went away." "That's right," said An. "How did you know?" "When I was a little boy, I met with my anger, too." "Really? Was it because of blocks?" "No," laughed Grandfather. "There were no blocks, just frogs, a lily pond, and a sun that wouldn't set. Come, let's eat our dinner, and I'll tell you my story." The end. So when An was in the red zone, he used some of the tools that we've talked about. He cried to get the stress chemicals out of his body. He moved his body to help express that energy. And he did some deep breathing with his anger. And all of those things worked to calm An down. I really like that story. I think it's really cool, and I like the way it's illustrated. So if you liked that story and you want to do a little bit of extra learning to kind of think a little bit more about it, I have 3 optional activities that you could do. The first would be to write a response to a reflection question that I'll post in your Google Classroom. So An's anger says, "I'm also your friend. Whenever you feel angry, you should come sit with me. after we spend some time together, you might feel better. So some people try to bottle up or ignore their mad feelings to make them go away. Why would sitting with your anger and taking good care of your anger be a better way to handle your mad feelings? So you could write a response to that in your Google Classroom. Ann's anger in the story was represented by this red monster creature. Another activity you can do if you're feeling crafty would be to think about what your anger monster would look like. You can create a painting, a drawing, a craft project, or whatever you want to show what your anger might look like. So I did a drawing of my anger, which kind of reminded me of the Pokemon Tangela, because I feel all tangled up inside and my head's going all crazy, so that's what my anger monster looks like. The third activity option would be to practice some mindful breathing like Ann does. So to do this, we're going to sit with our bodies straight and tall, but comfortable. You can keep your eyes open or close them, whatever works for you. We're just going to focus on sitting still and taking deep breaths in and out. Try to focus your breathing slow and steady. Try to think only about breathing in and breathing out. When other thoughts come into your brain, gently push them away and focus on your breathing. Try to do this for about 3 minutes, a couple days a week, and see if it gets easier as you go. So feel free to do none of those activities, do 1, 2, do all 3, whatever works for you. And if you want to share what you did with me, I'd love to hear about it. I hope you have a great rest of your week and an awesome weekend, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.